This is a Tuesday afternoon general manager show for the season 25-26 for the NFL. I am Jay Cleveland Payne, your host for many things coming from the More Bitter Media content family. And this is us getting into sports, getting a chance to do my old sports casting stuff, having fun with it, and my other true love in sports, football, fantasy football specifically, because I'm a stats guy. And so it makes fantasy football the easy thing to follow because it's not a slow jaunt like it is for baseball. It is action, although it's only 10 seconds at a time. And we're here to give you some stats, some things that may help you work out on your fantasy football team for this season. Now, right now it is week 0 going into week 1. So we don't have any real data to talk about. All the numbers we have make no sense and don't matter at all. But the week 1 going into week 1 for you this week, we'll talk about the preseason numbers and who ranked up the best in the games with the numbers that did not matter. So for more information about us, visit our website, TuesdayAfternoonGeneralManager.com, and you can get in on the action. We'll do more fun stuff online, and the big the big showcase of the week will be this podcast coming out on Tuesday evening to get you into the games wrapping up and getting ready for by Thursday. And since the games that have passed don't matter, let's talk about the games coming up on this week 1 that will matter. Recording is on the 2nd of September, where games start. The actual season kicks off on Thursday, September 4th, with a matchup at Philadelphia versus Dallas Cowboys. That's an 8:20 Eastern start on NBC. On Friday, we have a second early-ish game. That's Kansas City Chiefs versus Los Angeles Chargers, and it's versus because they're not playing at home. They're playing in Sao Paulo for the day. Sunday, all the games come to normal. We start off with Buccaneers at Falcons. We also have Cincinnati at Cleveland. Miami Dolphins versus the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis. There you go. Panthers at Jaguars. Vegas Raiders versus New England Patriots. Cardinals at the Saints. Steelers are at the Jets. New Jersey Giants at Washington Commanders, still Commanders for now. Tennessee Titans will take on the Broncos in Denver. Also, San Francisco is going to Seattle. The Lions will be at Green Bay. Houston Texans taking on the Los Angeles Rams in LA. And the Baltimore Ravens will open up their season at the Buffalo Bills. And the Monday Night Football Spectacular, just one game this week because they have the game happening on Friday in Sao Paulo. We have the Vikings taking on the Bears. And if you follow us on things you might have heard, we will get a chance to see those Vikings brand new cheerleaders. Yes, they are guys. We'll deal with it. Those are the games that will matter starting week 1, but not much of a way of really separating because the first game counts for momentum, but doesn't really count towards the end. Now, let's talk about some stats, if you will. The numbers we'll talk about for this week. Starting off the tops for this week, or the preseason games that didn't matter. The quarterback who will probably shine for New Orleans will probably be Tyler Slow. He will be, he came out the tops in the preseason with 3 games played in the 4 games possible, 21.6 points in PPR leagues. Also, for running back of the week, 4 weeks, I guess, it's Brayshon Tatum, who is out of Jacksonville, got 2 games in during his time, 23.1 fantasy points. Michael Tinsley, the top wide receiver out of Cincinnati, getting 2 games in, 26.8 on his PPR points. Stone Smart, with 2 T's, if you will, the tight end out of New Jersey for the Jets. He had 3 games in, and he had 13.18 points in the tops for the preseason. And in 3 games, Chase McLaughlin, as a kicker on the Tampa Bay, played 3 games and got 21.0 fantasy points. For your best defense of the time, 3 games played by Tennessee, they got 21.0 points even for that one for defense and special teams. Let's go into the player positions for the week, or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, if you will. Some teams had a chance to play 4 games. Most played only 3 preseason games. And this is down to how many players got a chance to get any real reps into the games. These are the best by the averages for the full time out there for the quarterbacks, people who were the best altogether. Now we start off with Tyson Baggett, who out of Chicago had 3 games in and 41.2 in his PPR points for fantasy. Stetson Bennett IV out of Los Angeles playing for the Rams, 2 games, 38.0 points. Trey Lance from the Chargers, also of Los Angeles, 4 games. He had a chance to play, 37.5 points in PPR. Jackson Dart, New York Giants, 3 games, 36.1 points PPR. And Skylar Thompson from Pittsburgh, he got in 3 games. He's going to get 35.4%. Now remember, Most of the quarterbacks that actually are going to play in this league will play next week. So we'll talk real numbers, real people going forward. But these guys were folks fighting for that third and sometimes fourth spot to play tight end in just in case somebody hurt. And we saw where they're coming out with the young guys or the rookies here. We'll see more of these guys in the future. Probably not in the future of this upcoming week. The backbone of your football team will always be a running back. They are the most durable, whether it's a PPR or like I play in the Yahoo Fantasy League. The numbers are slightly different where sometimes the quarterbacks may get a bit of a boost, but in all cases, your running back will make the most points and get you stable. Let's talk about Frank Gore Jr. out of Buffalo. He had 3 games in for the preseason, and he's the tops for the preseason with 36.3 average of PPRs for the time. Ernest Johnson, Ernest Johnson, put some respect on his name. Baltimore running back got 3 games in, 35.9 fantasy points in PPR as an average, so not too shabby. Dante Miller out of New York Giants, 3 games, 35.5 points in average. Rashid Ali of Baltimore, 3 games, 34.1, and Jonathan Ward out of the Giants as well, also getting 3 games in and doing a pretty good tandem in what's going to be the opening part. We'll see how much work they get when the actual season starts. 31.7 PPR fantasy points. Wide receivers. Chris Blair out of Atlanta, 3 games in, 43.1 fantasy points for PPR. Isaac Tesla? We'll see if he actually makes a team. But Detroit's new guy or young guy had 4 games in, 42.6 fantasy points in PPR, which is a nice go. Jackson Meeks out of Detroit also 4 games in. So this tandem worked well as wide receivers, but it was fairly early, 40.6 out on the field. We don't know how well those defenses they played against were ready for the prime time for upcoming week, but they gave them a chance to give a show and maybe make some teams going forward. Brendan Presley from the Rams, 3 games, 37.2 points PPR for fantasy, and Efton Chisholm III of New England, of all places. 2 games only played, but his average was 36.1. We'll see if he gets to play more playing time in the upcoming season and how soon and how good he shall be. Now, if you're looking for tight ends, there are plenty of them out there. And this year we are told by one Travis Kelce, who has tanked my fantasy teams for 2 years straight, not because of Taylor, but because of acting and game showing and doing other stuff, he will be better. He says he's going to be better because he wants the Chiefs to actually do better this season. So we'll see if he makes the list fairly quickly. But for the top 5 for the fantasy points for the preseason, love to Greg Dulcich, who is out of New York, the Jets, the Giants, one of those teams, the Giants. That tight end got 3 games in and 30.3 points. Tanner Hudson out of Cincinnati, 2 games in, 29.0 points on the dot. Joel Wilson, Chicago, 3 games, 25.5 points in PPR. Robert Tonyan, who plays out of Kansas City, who may have a chance to fight for some reps with one Travis Kelce. 3 games, 23.3 points PPR in the fantasy for the average. And Thomas Fidone II out of the Giants as well. New York. 22.4 points in 3 games he played for his PPR leagues, if he was in a PPR league. Now the kickers, they kick ball, they play up the ball, they kick the ball, and they make many points if you get a good kicker. These are the kickers that outshined people in the preseason. We'll see what happens when the real kickers get on the field and how well they do and how when, let's say, real football, when actual defenses will be playing. Tyler Loop, which I think I lived on, no, that was Kegaloop. I lived on Kegaloop when I was a kid. Tyler Loop is a whole different person, literally, out of Baltimore. 3 games he played, 45.0 fantasy points in the PPR. Cameron Dicker, Los Angeles Chargers, 4 games, 40 points. Daniel Carson got 36 points even out of Las Vegas with 3 games. Spencer Schrader, Indiana's possibly new kicker, 3 games he played, and he got 34 points in the PPR in the preseason. And Cam Little, you'll see plenty of him out of Jacksonville, 3 games, 32 points in his PPR for the preseason. It is what it is. We'll see how it rolls. Your defenses. Now, it's really early to say what's going to happen, and based on what leagues you play, you may play particular players. We're not doing that. We're going to do PPR scores for defenses for this podcast. Yahoo scores don't really translate very well, so we don't have them, although most of my leagues are in the Yahoo universe. I'm telling you right up straight. But here it is, the top 5 for the preseason in your PPR scores for what's happening. Only the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers, got 4 games in from the top 5, 52 points on their defense and special teams. Baltimore got 48 points for 3 games. Cleveland got 3 games in, 32 points for an average. Tampa Bay with 31 points for an average on 3 games. And Houston coming in on the final part of this 5th spot at 28 points with the 3 games in. Now, what's going to make this podcast a little different, a little weird, if you will? We are going to show you some flex and backups, some people that came up kind of in the middle for what's happened. So we took the final tally for what's going on and came up with our flex and backups for people who may make a team, maybe someone just in case you find yourself hurting for a player for some week and all the stars are picked up by other people. You will see that happening. Now, here's what we have. Our quarterback this week is Tyler Schlow from New Orleans. He got 21.6 actual points based on fantasy points from here. Brayshawn Tuttle, Jacksonville, 23.1. Michael Tinsley, Cincinnati, 6.8. Stone Smart of New Jersey, 13.8. Chase McLaughlin for Tampa Bay, 21 points even. And the Tennessee Titans have the flex defense at 21 points even. That may sound like a very familiar numbers because these are players that might actually get a play, even though it's early to pull a flex, based off of the actual players who will play first week. So these are some sleepers you might want to put onto your roster and watch them grow. And then if you need that flex player, you already have them in the spot, or if you need that backup quarterback, they're there. Flexes are usually when you pick all your big players and everyone is stacked, you'll have one person who just is not playing that well, someone who eventually needs to get into that extra spot for running back, for wide receiver, tight end, mostly where the flexes are, and you kind of run out of people. These are folks that will bring you quality, we believe will bring you quality yards and quality points moving forward. We don't know about these guys in particular because season's early. We don't know what's happening yet, so we shall see how it plays. This has been episode 1 for week 1, technically week 0 of the Tuesday Afternoon General Manager podcast. I'm Jay Cleveland Payne with you for this very special edition of The Love That's a Podcast. We shall see how much love it'll get and how much it will go forward. But for right now, here's the format. We're going to give you those positions and their scores going forward and some extra special things coming up. So we had the schedule. We gave you how the quarterbacks are going to look, how the running backs look, the wide receivers, the tight ends, go into the kickers, your defenses, and your special teams, and some backup and flex players for the week. We are pretty proud of our knowledge of football. Been doing this for a while. I did sports radio for quite some time before leaving the business, and now I stay connected with various players, various people, and of course do my best to keep my voice up and keep things going for the football season. This has been the first time I had a chance to actually do this show because I want to do it with a partner. Couldn't quite time it out with the guy I want to get to. Thanks a lot, Big Red, for having the support for this. So he's going to be listening. He's going to be critiquing. He's going to tell me what it is I'm doing right or wrong. The fact that I went less than 15 minutes on this one means I did something pretty right. We'll see if this little gem of football knowledge, madness, if you will be a big part of your football season watching this year, just like Red Zone, just like your cheat sheets, and maybe will help you get a trophy. I'm hoping for a trophy myself. We'll also give you some stats on how well the players I'm picking here they are going, just because we need more content. With that, we're wrapping up the first edition of this podcast. It has been a grand edition of the Tuesday Afternoon General Manager. Go to the website, TuesdayAfternoonGeneralManager.com, and you can get this podcast or find it on YouTube because that's where everything lives these days. We'll give you more updates once I go through and update the first episode on where to find it on YouTube, and it'll be in audio versions as well someplace. So with that, I'm Jay Cleveland Payne, bidding you adieu for week 1 to week 0, actually, and we'll see what week 1 brings for us in a few days. Let's go football.